I grew up in a family of 9 children. In our house, I've told people before that the words college and career ready were spoken in my house even before I even knew what that meant. And that is, those are terms that are readily used today. It was expected in my house that, or my parents' house, that when you grew up that you would go off and have a career, or that you would go to college. But we also learned early that our parents didn't have the financial means to send us to college. And so we knew that if we were going to go to college, that we either had to earn some type of academic scholarship or some type of athletic scholarship. In our home, every time somebody graduated, one of my older siblings, my mom would place the tassel on the mantle in the living room of our home. And about my 10th grade year, I noticed, as I was beginning to talk to them about going to college, that my mom and dad's tassel was not hung up on the mantle. And so I began to ask questions. As usual, you go to mom and you think that mom is going to give you the answer. And so I did approach my mom and ask her why hers and my dad's tassel were not on the mantle. And mom kind of played it off and said, I put those tassels up because it's about you, and this is our way of celebrating each of you as you graduate. And so I took that for a while, but I continued to go back and say, Mom, again, why don't y'all hang the tassel up? And my mom shared this story with me that when my dad was in the 9th grade, that he had to quit school and go to work and help support the family. And so he never returned to high school to complete his high school diploma. Well, my mom had completed her diploma and she had her tassel, but mom was not going to hang her tassel up when dad was unable to hang his up. So she made sure that all the children's tassels were hung up. My dad didn't graduate from high school, but yet he pushed each one of us and continued to push each one of us and share with us how important it was to get a good education and to go on and have a career and even to go to college. So I kind of accepted what mom said for a while, but it still bothered me in the back of my mind that education was so important in our home, but yet their tassels were not hung up. I wanted to be just like my dad, and I started thinking, how can I get my dad to finish school? Wouldn't that be neat if there was some way that I could talk him into finishing school? And so one day I just told my dad, I said, Dad, you're my hero, and I look up to you. And you're supporting us, you encourage us, to be good people as well as to go to college. I said, but you didn't finish high school, so I don't want to graduate. I think I can be just like you and not graduate from school. Well, that was just not going to happen in our home. And my dad enrolled into the community college. And what we would do is, at night, after I would come home from football practice or basketball practice, I would do my homework. We'd have dinner, and then when everyone else had gone to bed, I would sit at the kitchen table and I would help my dad study. And we did this for almost 2 years. And my dad was able to receive his high school diploma in May of the year that I graduated from high school. It was a celebration for us as a family that when I graduated, that we hung up not only my tassel, but we hung up my dad's tassel, and my mom was able to bring out her tassel and hang that up. And even when I go to my parents' house today, all of our tassels are hung up on the mantle, all 9 children and my mom and dad. And that has been something that has been an inspiration to me. And now as a superintendent, I continue to feed off of that. And I want to make sure that every child that enters our school system has an opportunity to graduate. And not only to have an opportunity to graduate, but have an opportunity to have success beyond high school graduation.